Hello, dear listeners. Welcome to today's episode of our podcast. Today, we have an interesting topic: wasting time. We all face it, and we all try to avoid it. But let's start with the key question: what really drives us to waste time?
Hi there. Good question. I think there are many reasons behind wasting time. Sometimes it's mental exhaustion and we avoid tasks that are hard or boring. Other times, it's a lack of clear goals or strong motivation.
Exactly. It can also be the feeling of inadequacy or the fear of failure that leads us to procrastinate and avoid tasks. For example, when we know a task will be complicated or require a lot of effort, we tend to waste time to escape from it.
True, and then there's the issue of bad habits. Many people start their day by spending a long time scrolling through their phones before even getting out of bed. This habit becomes a daily routine that's hard to break.
Exactly. Small habits like these can be destructive in the long run. And if we think about it, these habits accumulate over time and consume hours of our lives without us even realizing it.
Sometimes, it's just boredom. When we can't find something constructive to do, we turn to activities that fill the time but offer no real value.
Yes. And that raises an important question. Is wasting time always a bad thing? Or is it sometimes necessary as a form of temporary escape?
I think it depends on the context. If you're taking time to relax after a long workday, or if you need time to clear your mind, it can be important for your mental health. But if you're using relaxation as an excuse to avoid responsibilities or delay important tasks, then wasting time becomes a problem.
Yes. I believe the key is awareness. When we are aware of the time we're wasting, we can at least manage it. The problem arises when hours or even days pass by without us realizing that we haven't done anything productive.
Exactly. Another point worth mentioning is the guilt that comes after wasting time. Many people feel regret and stress after hours of distraction, and this can affect their mood and increase psychological pressure.
Right. And that's where balance becomes crucial. We can't be productive all the time, but we can be mindful of how we use our time, and we should avoid feeling guilty when we genuinely need a break.
Exactly. In fact, short, planned breaks can be part of an overall strategy for better time management. Instead of wasting time aimlessly, we can schedule intentional breaks that allow us to relax.
There's also the matter of priorities. Sometimes we think we're wasting time, but in reality, it might be because we haven't set our priorities properly. What's your take on the importance of setting priorities?
Setting priorities is crucial. If we don't have a plan or a list of our priorities, it's easy to get distracted and spend time on unimportant things. Many people work without a clear goal, which makes them feel like they haven't accomplished anything by the end of the day.
Right. Setting daily or weekly goals can significantly help reduce time wasting. When you know exactly what you need to accomplish, it becomes easier to avoid activities that pull you away from your goal.
And it also helps to break big tasks into smaller steps. People often avoid large tasks because they seem overwhelming. But when you divide them into smaller, more manageable parts, it becomes easier to tackle them.
That's a really practical tip. I also think the work environment plays a big role in wasting time. If you're surrounded by distractions like your phone, the TV, or even a messy desk, it's easy to get drawn into unproductive activities.
Definitely. The environment has a huge impact. Organizing the space, keeping the phone out of reach, or even designating a specific area for work can make a big difference.
There's also the topic of willpower and motivation. We might be aware that we're wasting time, but we lack the motivation to change our bad habits. How can we boost our motivation to overcome time wasting?
I think motivation comes from having clear goals. When you know exactly why you're working and what reward you'll get in the end, it gives you a bigger drive. Small rewards, like treating yourself after completing a difficult task, can also be motivating.
That's true. Rewards act as a positive incentive, especially when you tie them to achieving a specific goal. In the end, it's all about awareness and the will to manage our time better.
Yes, and recognizing that time is one of the most valuable resources we have. Wasting time is essentially wasting life. But with a bit of organization and planning, we can strike a balance between work and relaxation.
Well, now all that's left is to thank you for listening. And we hope you found this episode helpful. Remember, work on your talents and don't waste your time. And don't forget to subscribe and support us so we can bring you more episodes.